Palooza, chicken palooza.
Once it's give me the loot.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that was going to happen.
Right?
So it's Friday night, and once again we're live. We're out here with the boys. Skylar is back after a very long hiatus. He does that sometimes. Have you been fishing any in your hiatus?
No, because I haven't taken not a lot, but I did fish once.
And how'd it go? How did it go? Tell us all.
It went pretty well.
Yeah, it went good. I got to fish the shootout tournament on the Pocomoke, and I came in second place, which earns me a spot on the
state team.
On the state team.
Fishing the regional next year, which I hear is on the Potomac.
It is on the Potomac.
Which is pretty exciting.
It is.
On one hand, it's exciting because you get to fish the Potomac. On the other hand, like it's always cool to fish those and be able to travel. You get to go to different bodies of water. But it's also really nice to have it on a home body of water, because you get to practice all year. You're going to be down there, and you're going to get tuned in with it. You know when it is?
Yeah, it's in June. I don't know. I do know specific dates on my phone, but
June can be a little tough down there.
Yeah.
I mean, usually, it's not too bad. The hydrilla is not topped out down there in June, so just find some milfoil.
Yeah, I don't know.
Beat it to death.
Someone mentioned to me that they might do the 15-inch or 12. They might keep 12 or do 15. I'm not sure.
It would depend on when the tournament is, right? If the tournament's after June, if it's on June 16th or later, then it should be 12 inches.
Sometimes they'll keep it at 15.
Right.
Oh, really?
That's what that's kind of what I was getting at, but I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, in the Potomac, you really 12-inch fish probably won't help you.
As a rider, it might though.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, a 12-inch fish goes a long way when you get 2 5-pounders in the water.
How many people fish that, by the way? I don't know a lot about it.
So they lowered I think they cut the regions in half. So it's probably in the 75 range, 75 boats or 75 riders.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
Yeah.
The one I fished was 150-ish, somewhere around that.
And what position did you get?
I ended up finishing.
Real
I should check.
Top 40 catch or or something like that?
I guess I should check. I can't remember exactly what place I finished. 22nd or something like that.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Were you up on Sebago? Is that
No.
the one you went to? Okay.
No, I was on Douglas in Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
Amazing lake, by the way. If anybody ever gets a chance to go down there, not too far away, about 7 hours away.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool lake. We were catching largemouth in 35 feet of water.
That's pretty.
It was pretty sick. On flutter spoons that were like this big.
That's pretty cool. That's definitely pretty cool.
I feel like that's right up Chad's alley.
Is that is that a Tennessee River lake over there?
No, it's a TVA lake. But
Okay.
It's not a Tennessee River lake.
So it's not like Cumberland or Kentucky or.
No, it's actually. You ever been to Cherokee?
I've not. I've heard a lot about Cherokee and how it's pretty good. But
So it's right in the same area as Cherokee.
Okay.
It's about I want to say it's 45 minutes away from Cherokee. But it's right near near Knoxville.
See, I would actually, if I was doing the regionals, I would want to travel a little bit because I feel like I would. Now the Potomac, not really for me because I don't know it very well at all. But if it was on the Upper Bay, I would feel.
I was on the Upper Bay a couple years ago.
I know I would fish the same rotation of my stuff and practice the same rotation of my stuff to the point where it would probably be detrimental if it wasn't, the right thing.
You know what happened when they was on the Upper Bay? Maryland anglers got their ass kicked.
Well, and that's probably why they probably did the same shit that they do every time you go out there. And it's versatility. That's why, me personally, I like to fish different areas all the time. I don't ever Conowingo's the exception in the fall, but
they didn't get their ass kicked. They got their ass kicked by Jersey and the people who fish the Upper Bay all the time.
Oh, okay.
Mike Santor won that tournament in pretty convincing fashion. I believe he had 19, 20, and 19.
What time of year was that?
June.
Here, maybe it's okay. You can put it right here.
Yeah, you can just set that right in front of him.
Oh.
Oh, do you want
Okay.
one?
No.
I was-
Wait, we have to toast something.
I actually started drinking at 1 o'clock today.
Good for you. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No one drinking for me.
Work paid for it.
Fishing.
To fishing?
Cheers to
To
fishing.
bass
Cheers to
fishing.
fishing.
The Bass and Beer Radio.
Oh, that was delicious.
That was great.
A creamsicle, like an adult creamsicle. Is that what it's supposed to be?
Yeah.
Did you actually melt the
Creamsicle.
creamsicle into it?
What did you do? What kind of witchcraft is that?
How is this? Come on, tell us the witchcraft.
Is it
Hey,
Pinnacle?
Chad, that's been his drink.
That I'm
recently.
telling you, like those things have been screwing me up
I don't-
recently.
Is
and
it
I
Pinnacle
just- I
with cream
can't.
Dude, this is one of those things where, like, if you drink too much, like just a bit too much of it, you're done. You're like, you don't want any more of it. Like, it's hard to
Dude,
get.
she made me 4 full-size crushes of that
Is it Pinnacle?
the other night.
Is it Pinnacle whipped cream vodka?
It's Pinnacle and
I can taste that.
Pinnacle whipped.
Yeah.
Smirnoff orange vodka, orange juice, and club soda.
Yeah, the
But where's the cream?
Pinnacle whipped cream vodka will get you in
The
trouble
cream is the whip.
fast.
No.
It's whipped cream vodka.
The whipped cream vodka gives the creamy flavor.
And the orange
to
comes
the
from all the
orange.
other orange stuff you just talked about.
But it tastes like a popsicle. Why wouldn't you just put the popsicle in and melt it and then put like vodka in it without all the extra steps?
Because she's
there's
not a
more-
redneck, Tony.
Well, I'm
because
just saying.
there's
it
more
would work.
alcohol in using whipped cream vodka, orange vodka, than there is in using
You're
a
stupid.
popsicle.
This kind of. I feel like this conversation
you're just
is,
dumb.
it is directly correlates with our rain gear
Can you
conversation the
open
other
that
day.
window, Sky?
It probably, yeah, it does.
All right,
It's
enjoy
gonna
your show,
walk.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, babe. Hey, Mr. Larry.
Okay,
How
we
you
should-
doing, sir?
All right,
So we had an
need to
interesting
talk.
conversation the other day over text about rain gear, and Tony.
Oh,
It-
this is a good one.
So we're talking about rain gear and going out in the rain, and Tony said he was going fishing today, and Chad's like, it's gonna rain. No, I'm not going out. I was like, that's what they make Gore-Tex
hold
for.
up, hold up.
And then Tony's like, I don't wear rain gear.
No. I said I don't wear rain gear when it's hot. I only wear it when it's cold.
Skin's waterproof, right?
Yeah, so I mean-
like, here's the deal. When it's over 80 degrees, it's over 75 degrees, all right, and the water temperature is somewhat comfortable. Like, if you were to get caught in the rain and does it make you like nasty cold? So, then you're good.
Oh, Mr. Larry is asking us how our Alabama bet went.
I'm a week late. I called one on today.
He's a week late, but he put one down on it today. Paul, have you thrown one?
I have not.
Paul hasn't thrown one, and I wasn't part of the bet.
Haven't even pulled it out of the box.
So
Didn't
Tony wins that one, but he gets
With a
It's a penalty.
He gets a penalty on it. What's the next thing we're gonna do?
I don't know. Alabama rig's definitely coming out on Sunday though.
And then
Yeah, I'd say so. But we were getting back to it. We were talking. Yeah, we were talking about fishing in the rain, and it was hot. And Tony says he refuses to wear rain gear when it's hot.
If it's
I'm like,
if it's above 60 degrees or something. Tony
yeah,
will
so
wear
like
it.
if it's everything's weather dependent, right? Like we call it MET-TC dependent, mission, all this other. It's a whole acronym, right? But basically, if it's warm out, I don't wear rain gear. Okay, for 2 reasons. One, it makes you really really hot. Like if you ever worn rain gear when it's over 80 degrees, you just sweat, and then you're wet anyway. But would you rather be wet with sweat or wet with rainwater?
Get better rain gear.
I mean, you get something light. You get like a light windbreaker that's
Yeah.
water
You know what's
resistant.
easier? You know
They're
what's
like
really
$30.
easy? You just
But
wear.
you get one from
spandex.
Columbia.
No. You
Well,
just,
yeah,
you just
I-
wear
okay.
spandex if you think it's going to rain, and these, the best shoe ever designed, a
The
Croc.
worst shoe ever.
That's not
designed.
even a Croc. So.
I agree.
First of all,
I fully agree with that statement on Crocs.
all right.
100%.
Nope.
And what
No
happens when it starts raining? You just jump in the damn lake. You're already wet. The rain's not going to
I
make
just-
you any more
I
wet.
don't get wet.
Yeah,
I put
just-
rain
I'm
gear
not-
on and I
I'm-
stay dry.
I'm not understanding that right now. I'm like, why wouldn't you just get a really light throw over and just keep
Because I don't
fishing?
want to spend
Dude,
the
those
money.
freaking those Under Armour freaking coveralls.
I don't
now,
want to spend
strip
the
down
money
to your
on it.
boxers
Yeah.
and put those on.
I would
Those
rather.
were amazing.
I would rather be
I'm saying.
miserable.
Amazing.
I would rather be miserable than spend $50 on
But
it.
see, for me, it's a mental thing.
That's what he just.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
once it starts raining, then I'm like, it's raining. I don't want to do it. But then it's like, once you jump in, it's like, okay, I'm already wet. The rain's not going to make me any more
You
wet.
jump in with all your clothes.
Yeah.
Why not just get rained on then at that point?
Because then there's nothing worse than being half wet.
You're gonna
Okay.
be full wet. The rain's on you.
all or nothing. If you're fully wet, you're not going to get any more.
This is how this
Right, listen to me. If you're fully soaked, you cannot get any more soaked. The rain is combat ineffective.
But then
you're
makes-
wet, and which is the miserable part.
yeah,
No, it's fine.
it's miserable.
No, you would okay.
There's
Think about
nothing good about
Think about this.
soap clothes.
You're out fishing, right? And let's say you're wearing rain gear, and your boots are all wet, and your feet are all wet.
I wear
and,
waterproof boots.
and the sleeves of your sweatshirt or whatever underneath you are wet up to here. Doesn't that suck?
No.
Tony beat up everybody for a medium. That's what he did.
Wouldn't you rather? I'm telling you, wouldn't you rather just be completely like? I don't
No.
know. I'm just saying.
I would
that's
rather
how-
have half my forearm wet than my entire torso wet. Every day of the week.
No, what do you mean no? What are you just mad about a little bit of soggy sleeve?
Yeah.
Oh my god, the cuff of my hoodie got wet.
Just
Yes.
roll that up.
Let me just jump in the water.
I will say though, that's like the worst chafing ever.
No, the
Yeah,
worst
but it's
chafing
not.
ever
What is
is when you wear jeans and your jeans get wet.
I mean, yeah, no,
I don't-
obviously,
that's
but I'm
the
saying
worst.
like just the
I don't wear
cuff, though,
jeans.
that should just
Ever.
rub
What do
them
you
in.
wear for long pants wise? Just sweatpants every day?
Yeah, I'm
No, I
telling you,
wear
like,
so I wear either. So I actually found these what were they? I think they're Orbit, these Orbis pants at fucking Costco for like $18. They're fucking waterproof, and they're made of like a microfiber material. Like they're just like regular pants.
Is that the
They're
pants when
super
you
light.
walk? It's like.
No, they actually don't do that.
They're not the swishy pants.
They're
It's
not
not the
swishy.
swishy pants.
They're not swishy, but that's what I wear. I wear a quick dry. Anything I wear when I'm fishing, especially in the wintertime, is quick dry. Because if I do get wet, I want, like, if I fall in, I want something that's quick dry.
Yeah, everything I wear repels water.
Right,
Send me an email
because I
and let
don't-
me know what baits you want me to send you when you get a
What a
chance.
guy.
Oh,
What a guy.
you ready to?
Oh yeah.
What do we want to test out next?
Absolutely.
So all right, two things. Since we're talking about rain gear and stuff, the two things I can't stand is drippage, like when you feel like dripping on your body, and when your neck gets wet. I do not mess with that.
My whole body can be wet, which includes my neck.
But your whole body can be neck.
Okay, but think of it. If your whole body's wet, if your whole body is soaking wet,
You don't feel the dripping anymore on the back of your neck?
no.
What do you mean no?
It's like getting out of a
Get a
pool.
fucking hood.
I hate getting out of a pool. That's the
Oh.
worst part about being in a pool. is
Yeah,
getting out of a pool.
Especially when there's like
It
a
is.
breeze, you know what I mean? That's the worst.
That is like it's so true. I've never thought about it. The worst part of getting in a pool is getting out of it's getting out of the pool.
Like nobody wants to, like when you're standing around on a deck or something with like wet swim trunks. That's like the worst feeling in the world. Like I'd rather just go change and then put, like, if I want to get back in the pool, I'll put my swim trunks back on. But
Putting
nobody
wet
wants to
swim
stand around
trunks
in wet swim trunks.
Putting them back on when they're wet? Awful.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's like putting on wet socks.
I just
Miserable,
wearing them.
Who does
miserable
that? Who
experience.
puts back on wet socks?
What if you don't have an option?
I just don't put on socks.
put on socks.
Then you get blisters.
no,
Wearing boots?
no.
Yeah, what if you fall off the boat?
Well, you shouldn't get
What, do you
blisters.
keep,
if you're on
extra,
a
you
boat.
keep extra clothes on you?
I'm not putting
So,
back on wet
actually-
You
socks.
can't do that as a rider.
Wintertime. So
It's true.
that's a good point. When you say, you fall off the boat, do you keep extra clothes in the wintertime? Absolutely. Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
always have extra clothes.
That
on
could be the
in
difference between
wintertime.
life or death. If something
But also
were to
have
happen.
extra clothes just in case it's like too comfortable. Then you can just put on extra layers, obviously. But like,
I can tell you that I've actually had to use that before. Not me personally, but I went crappie fishing. I won't say his name because it was, I guess, for him, it was a little embarrassing. I thought it was funny. But when crappie fishing last year, the guy I was fishing with went to make a cast, the bail closed, and I was letting him use one of my crappie rods. Now, my crappie rods are like the whole setup from including line, jig, and
So
everything.
they're crappy.
It's probably like $30. They're literally my old broken tip rods that I just use for crappie fishing.
That fucking nitro.
Right. So, whatever. So he goes, I hand him the rod because he goes to throw it, bail closes, rod falls out of his hand. He leans forward to catch the rod, loses balance, goes in the water, 40-degree water temps in Joppa Town. And I'm like, oh my God, like this sucks. So I help him back in, and he's like, I could tell he's cold, but here's the thing, like when you get that cold, you don't realize how cold you are until like a couple minutes later.
until you realize.
And he was like, no, I'm good. I'm like, no, dude, like you got to go back to the ramp. Like it's air temps in the 30s, water's in the 40s. We're going back to
Oh,
the
yeah.
ramp.
Yeah.
It's like hypothermia status.
Yes.
Oh,
That
quickly.
shit sucks.
Quickly.
So, halfway back out of Foster Branch, he's like, hey, I think I have a set of clothes in the boat. And he did, and changed, and we were good. The thing that really sucked about it is he had like a really fucking nice crappie, like a huge crappie. We were going to take pictures with it because we had a bunch of nice ones, but he had like the biggest crappie I've ever seen in gunpowder. Not that I've seen a ton of big ones, but and we were going to take pictures with it. So as we're going back, I'm dumping the fish out. As soon as the crappie last one hits the water, hey, I think I got an extra set of clothes. I'm like, you motherfucker. Like, you know how badass this picture would have been?
If I catch like the biggest crappie I've ever seen, I can be soaked to the core. It could be 25 degrees out. We got 30 seconds to take a picture.
Right. I was like, damn.
that 15 seconds to take a picture is not going to be the difference between me making it back to the ramp or not.
But, yeah, that was interesting. That was fun.
Just get me back to my truck. I'll turn the heat on. We'll be good.
But yeah, I remember some cold runs that me and Skyler made out of Northeast a few times.
So we had
dumb.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
So dumb.
2 years ago we had a
So
tournament.
stupid.
It was like 20 degrees.
2 years
60 miles an hour. Awful.
All the way to the back channel from Northeast.
2 years ago we had a club tournament out of Tidings.
Mhm.
It was 23 degrees when we launched.
Yeah,
It was our November
I
tournament.
just don't do that. Like,
And yeah, it was 60 miles an hour all the way to the Northeast, and it was cold as fuck. And I shouldn't even went that fast but when I got over there, my guides kept freezing up. Couldn't even fucking fish. Guides kept freezing up like every fucking cast. So I could have just like taken my time, waited for the sun to come up.
yeah, that's the
Nope,
worst.
froze my ass off
Like,
instead. My buddy actually fell in that morning. One of the guys in my club.
That's dangerous.
We had one of those this year, the first tournament of the year. I think water was in the 40s in the Potomac, and one of the guys
Chris
fell in. That was bad.
That's
I was concerned.
That was bad for more than one reason. I mean, he's an older guy.
Older guy,
Yeah.
couldn't get back in the boat. He was in the water for way longer than he should have been.
Thank God for power poles.
Yes.
Chad, my buddy falling in is actually a good lesson for you. Is if you're out in the cold with that your new aluminum boat, you watch your gunnels. They frost up.
Oh yeah.
That's what happened to him. His trolling motor strap to strap it down when he went to put his trolling motor down got underneath his mount, and he stepped on the gunnel to pick his trolling motor up and just went bloop into the water. And his rider that he had with him is an older gentleman that's in our club. He's I think he's like 70, and so like he couldn't. He was freaking out.
Couldn't help him.
And helped him as much, but like Mike was he's like in the water laughing, like, what the fuck? Had Gore-Tex rain gear on, so it like hadn't soaked, it didn't soak him through, and he was able to get back in the boat, and he ran back to Haverty Grace, drove all the way back to his house, changed his clothes, warmed up, and then came back out and launched the boat at 12 and finished the tournament.
Shit.
It was pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
Also did not catch a fish, which kind of just like rubbed salt.
Yep. Not like, yeah. That's
He might have caught one.
I remember I had a field training exercise my sophomore year of college that redefined cold for me. I mean, it redefined. I have not been cold in the sense since that day, or since those 3 or 4 days.
Worse than the Northeast stuff that we did.
100 times. 100 times. Here's what happened.
Yeah.
Can you grab me a cold one? Chad?
Oh yeah.
Can you try to grab me one if there's another one?
So, and Nick, thank you. I appreciate it. I will say there are lots of people out there, especially on Veterans Day, that have done way more than me. So, for all them guys, appreciate it. I know Bob Murphy. I don't know if he's watching. He's one that definitely deserves a thank you way more than me. But anyway, back to the story. We went out for a field training exercise in Fort Pickett, Virginia, which is like the worst place in the world. It just is like horrible. For no specific reason other than it sucks.
It's just hell.
Yeah, it just sucks. Like, nothing there is nice. Everywhere you go in the field, there's poison ivy. It's just whatever. So we get there, probably 8, 9 o'clock at night, and it starts raining. It's like 50 in the mid 50s. Not super cold. Starts raining as everyone's kind of bedded down for the night. So luckily, I kind of know how to do like a little bit of field craft. So I built a little hooch out of some ponchos with a couple guys, and we stayed dry that night. Didn't really matter because we're out in the woods all day the next day, and it's still at 50 to 55, raining its ass off. And then about 10 o'clock the next day, when everyone's soaked through, drops down to 33 degrees.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Freezing rain for the next 3 days straight, except at night, because at night it got cold as shit. Like if you stood still long enough, like huddling for warmth like a fucking penguin, and yes, this happened. Like if you stood still long enough and then moved, you could hear the ice cracking, like on the uniform, because the uniform would freeze solid. Like it was.
I thought when you first started this story, I thought it was gonna be a fishing story. I get why that was way worse.
No,
I know, like 100%. I get that.
Dude,
but this also ties into
it
our
was
conversation about rain gear,
fucking cold.
where Tony's logic about the rain gear is mind over matter.
Yes.
And like I understand where he comes from because he's went through this, but it doesn't mean you have to.
You should have worn Gore-Tex during your fucking field training.
Dude, I did.
You're not in field training. You can
Okay,
wear it.
So as soon as when Paul sent the Gore-Tex in the group chat, we call like Gore-Tex is like I'm trying to think. It's like how we call tissues Kleenex. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like
just the overarching.
right. So like we
Right
call
there.
our wet weather gear Gore-Tex because it's just like the short name. But everything in the military for like wet weather gear is fucking horrible.
Military grade.
It just sucks.
Military grade.
It's fucking horrible.
It's
So
not Gore-Tex.
so like Paul said Gore-Tex, and I'm immediately like, fuck.
Flashbacks.
Yeah, right? Because that's what happened. When I was out at Fort Pickett, I was wearing my wet weather gear, and after about an hour, maybe 45 minutes, I'm already soaked fucking through. The first time I ever wore my wet weather gear, my Army issue wet weather gear, was on a fishing trip in Smith Mountain Lake, like maybe a month prior to that, and I got soaked through like instantly, and I was like, what the hell's going on with this shit? Like, why am I soaked through when after like an hour and a half or 2 hours of this garbage? Like, dude, I don't know. Like, so yeah, I don't like Army wet weather gear like at all.
I can tell you that my Bass Pro Gore-Tex suit.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to interrupt. Sorry.
I was just getting ready to unwrap. I've been in some nasty stuff, and it has been nothing but fantastic. Like you said, you get a little bit sometimes of the water wicking up, wicking up your sleeve, and stuff like that. But for the most part, our shootout 2 years ago was on the Potomac. 3 years ago.
Is that the last tournament of the year?
The shootout is like if you didn't make it through the trail, there's one more tournament, and like everybody can fish it.
But
So,
do you have
it's a
to
one and
be
done,
in the
like-
trail to fish it though?
Anybody
Really?
can fish it.
Okay.
Trail, if you fish the trail, you get a discount,
Oh, okay.
so it doesn't cost you as much to get in.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
this shootout until like 8:30, the weather was okay. Like I ran over to Belmont, and I told my rider, I was like, look, we got to go back. We're going back to Mattawan because it's going to get nasty. So we get back to Mattawan, and once we got back to Mattawan, we sat down on our first spot, and it was just it's like 40-degree air temperature, torrential, the hardest fucking rain I've ever been in my life. I mean, you couldn't see the fucking bank from 50 yards away. We're fishing grass. You couldn't see where the fucking bank was. Winds blowing like 35 miles an hour. And I stayed dry all day. I will say, though, that is the only tournament in my life that at 12 o'clock, I was like, I could just pack up and go right now and not fucking care. And then I caught 3 3-pounders on like 5 casts. And I was like, okay, better stick around.
See, I did the opposite. So last year on the Upper Bay, almost the same conditions.
I remember that tournament.
Dude,
May.
storming, so like raining
Yeah.
hard, right? It was cold as shit. I mean, wind, it was, total storm thing. And I was with Emma, and her boat, at everybody's, so I think her boat was like 17 or like 16 and a half. So she had like a small Ranger. It was really small. And we were hitting these waves, and it was chopping. It was the worst experience I've ever had in my entire life fishing. I mean,
This was still the worst experience. But
Oh, yeah.
don't get me wrong.
Yeah. I mean, so for me, I'm fine with everything else getting wet and cold. Once my feet are compromised as far as getting wet and cold, I'm done. Like, that's it.
I'm the same way.
Once my feet are just like frozen, I'm done. Like, I don't want to fish anymore. So we went back. We went to like her friend's house that lived not too far from Tidings or whatever, threw our stuff in the dryer, and I passed out for like an hour. I was so cold just getting under a blanket. I was like, fuck. just went to bed, dude. It was so bad. I was drenched.
A pair of rubber boots is your best friend.
Absolutely. I gotta get a pair of like extra toughs you have out there or some shit.
Yeah.
Waterproof.
I know there's a guy on Facebook that's got a bunch of them for sale right now. What guy I buy a ton for, and they're a pretty good price.
Yeah.
Waterproof
Actually,
wool
Jimmy.
socks. That's my thing.
Well,
I was wearing wool socks. They weren't waterproof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At first I was like, okay, fucking bullshit, right? Like, how waterproof are the socks? And then I wore the first time I actually wore the waterproof socks. Did you fish that tournament this year in May for the club this year when it was like raining and like legit gale force
I
winds?
don't think so.
Okay, so like I've never speared waves on the back channel until this year. And that was our club tournament in May. So they launched it like 8 and weighed in like 12 or some garbage. I caught one fish, it was like 4 pounds. I hooked it 3 times in one tournament.
So are
It's
these
hard.
socks like a neoprene wool sock kind of deal, or like a neoprene outside, wool inside?
I don't know what it is, but it's waterproof, but it's not. It's waterproof enough to where by the time your feet are wet, they're warm, no matter how cold it was. I mean, it was like air temps in the low to mid 40s, and I was wearing these Crocs. Like, dude, it's amazing because I remember fishing some of the Conowingo tournaments last year in the wintertime, and I know he doesn't watch, but Mr. Hurd was wearing Crocs in like 30 degree. Freaking, I'm like, dude, you're crazy. He's like, I'm telling you, waterproof wool socks. I'm like, all right. And I tried it, and I was like, waterproof fucking wool
I'm
socks.
gonna need to give me a pair,
Like,
seriously.
Yeah, no, definitely.
'Cause
Like,
I have muck boots, and those, I mean, waterproof and somewhat insulated, but those things are heavy. I mean, those, like, I have the ones that come up to like right under your knee kind of thing.
I like wearing those though.
I do, but like, I just, to me, they don't bend very well. So like when I'm fishing, it's just like super funky and uncomfortable.
yeah, I have a pair of Columbias that aren't they're like mid calf, and I have the same thing. I think they're pretty fucking uncomfortable.
dude, I can wear wools. I can wear Crocs anytime.
I got my fuzzy Crocs on right now.
Like,
There you go.
it just doesn't matter. Like, I'm fishing in January. I'm fishing in July. Like, I'm wearing Crocs.
I agree
It
with
just,
that.
it is what it is. I mean, because here's the deal. Like, all that boots do is prevent you. Like, your feet are either going to get cold or they're not. Like, boots keep them from getting cold faster.
Right.
And it's only like the difference is really not that much.
But once they're cold, it's all trapped.
Once they're cold, they're cold.
I got a pair of waterproof insulated Columbia hiking boots. Like my feet stay fucking toasty all fucking day.
See, I've never gone out in like January, December, February and not have my feet get cold at some point.
Omni heat, motherfuckers.
Like, not me, bro.
It's got that foil like insulation on the inside.
I'm sure
They're badass.
I think that's what does it.
He might be sold out of them.
I mean, it's not that they're too expensive. It's like $100. I mean, I just haven't pulled the trigger on it. Just because I haven't really needed to.
You should get some hunter boots.
Why?
I don't know. You know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about? Dude, all right, so like
I know that you mean like the brand.
the brand. Okay, so here's the thing. You go to Walmart and you can get a fucking rubber boot that goes all the way up to your knee. The only difference between that and a hunter boot is there's a label that says hunter on the front of the hunter boot.
Right.
And girls will pay like $150.
Yeah, I know.
for it. It's like, I don't understand this. Like, I remember like 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 years ago, there was like every girl in the history of the world had freaking hunter boots. I was like, see, Rob had his red setter insulated boots. Me and Rob fished together today. And it was like, I was wearing
Wasn't it
my,
like 75 degrees today
Yeah.
or some shit?
yeah, it was warm.
I was wearing a t-shirt all day.
Crocs,
Definitely
no
was so
socks.
cold.
Like, no, no. Like, I've worn my cowboy boots. Do not keep my feet warm, like at all.
Mine actually,
Really poorly.
Mine are water resistant. I have the Ariat water
Yeah.
resistant ones.
Oh,
they
they're
actually
nice.
they actually do pretty well. I have to especially if I wear some like wool socks, then my feet are like sweating.
Yeah, mine. I don't know. Like, I have yet to find a boot that keeps my feet warm in
I have
conditions.
the Cabela's brand muck boot that I tend to wear during the winter the most.
Yeah.
And
I mean, if I have to
Yeah,
be outside
They're
during
muck
work,
boot styles.
yeah,
That definitely.
yeah, if I have to be outside during like doing like for work and stuff, like
Mhm.
construction or whatever, I'll wear the muck boots, especially if I'm in the dirt or something. But like they hurt my feet so bad.
Hey, you know they make Croc boots, right? Like Croc winter boots.
You know what I won't wear?
I bet they look terrible though.
I don't care. I'm gonna
I saw an advertisement for branded branded Crocs, but they're fucking platform Crocs. They're
What?
Yeah,
That's
they're like this. They have like a fucking sole like this fucking thick.
So the cool thing about the Croc boots is like it's
There's
literally
nothing cool about Crocs.
it's a Croc.
There is.
Yes, there is.
These bad
Cool
boys.
about Crocs.
3 out of 4 people in this
Nothing
room are
cool.
wearing Crocs right now.
Right.
Like that's the thing. That's what you fail to realize is 75%
That
of
doesn't mean
basketball-
75% of basketball radio is
No,
not
it
wrong.
just means
Yeah.
you're a fucking loser. That's what it means.
Hold on, I gotta find a picture.
Just I don't have
of these
fucking holes in my shoes.
So there's
Iteration, right?
it's a cool thing. Okay.
I remember when like people who wore Crocs back in the day were like everybody thought they were just losers, and now it's like a huge thing.
Dude, I'm about to get some Croc charms.
I don't wear things. I don't wear things because they're popular.
Oh, that's not what I'm saying. They've always been popular.
I wear
Just
things
back in the
because
day.
they're comfortable, and Crocs are the most comfortable shoe ever invented.
Yeah,
I-
I have to agree.
I disagree.
Have you worn a pair?
I have.
And you know.
I don't like.
Yeah, you
All right,
just
look,
don't
come
lose
on.
I don't
it.
like. I don't like that they're. That
That's
is the
awful.
dumbest
That is
fucking.
awful.
Oh my God.
Come on. Look, can you see it? That's the Croc boot. I'm
It's
gonna
like-
be wearing it.
I want a pair of
It's like a pair of
steel-toe
Crocs.
I'm gonna geek
kidding
out.
you,
I'm gonna
dude.
It's
geek
like-
out when I see you wear
I
it.
can tell you that is like a pair of Crocs.
It's got
Fucked
it's
a
got a,
pair of kids snowshoe boots.
it's got an ankle warmer on it.
Dude, I don't care. I'm getting them.
Steel toe Croc for worse.
You ordering them right now?
I might.
I want to see. I want to see. I want to see the. I want to see the order receipt right now.
You only can wear them if you're wearing shorts, though.
Oh, of course. It's a given. It's a given.
Just so people can see it.
They're only $50. I mean, that's
I think you're paying too much.
that is a little steep.
Homeboy won't even buy a jacket.
Right.
He's about to buy these fucked up Crocs on Amazon.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, man. Like you're gonna see me at the ramp with these.
I
what
probably
are
have
they
more-
called?
I probably have
Neo.
more jackhammers in my tackle warehouse
Yeah.
order on Thursday than Tony owns.
Oh, easily, because I only own like 3.
I don't know. Now.
I had 3 in there.
There you go.
There you go.
Neo. They're called
How
Neo
much are you
Puff
paying per
winter
jackhammer
boots.
on Tech Warehouse?
I don't know. They were like whatever the
Okay,
like
so
$15.
$15.99 or something.
So not to
I don't know,
really.
deal we talked about the way to go.
So yeah, like he was saying,
Wait,
like,
wait till Black Friday, man.
Well, I was saying no. He was saying like Carl's Bait and Tackle, like it's $50 for the year, but like you save so much money on all your orders after that.
I usually wait when I'm doing like expensive shit like jackhammers. I usually wait until Black Friday
Right.
when
Right.
Tackle Warehouse is doing 25% off, and then they're like $12.
They all have a lot of fall, like the fall.
Dude, I'm telling you right
sales
now,
this
so
year
hear
are
me
great.
out. Carl's Bait and Tackle, shopcarls.com. It is MTB. And a lot of their products do suck.
Yes.
But they do have some really good stuff on there, and it's all 30% off when you're members, which is $50 for the year. And then you go on there, and they have jackhammers on there, all of them. Go on there, and I
You see,
bought
like,
like,
$4
I bought like
or
10.
whatever,
I bought like 10 jackhammers. I paid $10 a piece for jackhammers.
Yeah. So for me, like the only thing I would really buy on there would probably be jackhammers.
There's
So-
jackhammers. There's some decent hooks on there. There's good soft plastics in there.
I don't want to
It's worth
hijack this
having.
conversation, but I'm looking at these Croc boots, and here's the issue: you can't take them out of 4-wheel drive.
True.
Tony, it's a boot.
No,
But anyway.
no. Look. See the strap on the back? It's permanently in 4-wheel
Yeah,
drive.
because
But
if you
it's a
didn't
boot.
have that, it would lift out of it, and that would just be
It
stupid.
would be
No, what-
it'd be a goddamn
I want
sandal if it
choices.
didn't have that.
No,
What if you could like take it out of forward drive and it just slipped off, so now you're just wearing like a fuzzy sock?
I would probably be fucking warm. I'd probably be warm. Okay,
That's for inside the house.
Right, exactly. You just kick them off.
Yeah, I'm getting this.
Yeah, I did the shop.
Order them right now.
I might.
Order them right now. I want to see. I want to present the read receipt
Mostly I wait
to
till
everybody.
I try to buy as much tackle as I can from Susquehanna Fishing Tackle, just to support a local tackle shop. Well, the localist tackle shop that we have anyway, because there are no tackle shops.
Tackle Warehouse's fall
Not
sale, that
anymore.
was like a couple weeks ago. They had a lot of good.
They had Tockermans, and then there used to be another place right there in Towson that was
Anglers
Anglers
Express.
Express.
They
Anglers
were- they were
Express was
good.
pretty sick.
Eric closed up a couple years ago.
Yeah, that was a good joint though.
Bro, it doesn't have a size.
Tockerman's is good, but they don't have the bass fishing selection that
Yeah, no.
Susquehanna Fishing
Rob,
Tackle
I
has.
don't think anybody from here does.
No,
Yeah.
I canceled mine a couple years ago.
I don't know why
The
I
one-
said Rob and then Bob.
I keep the membership just because I can get trailer hooks and soft plastics and jackhammers and a
That one
bunch of
Mr.
other stuff like 30% off with free shipping whenever I want it from there. So, I mean, I definitely save a lot more than $50 a year buying the $50 membership.
So
Absolutely.
I would say
Fishing line.
the like mystery tackle
Yeah, I got
box, lucky tackle
40%
box,
off.
fantastic Christmas gift. It is like one of the best Christmas gifts you can get for somebody
I
in
will
your
say-
family that's into fishing.
I've
Or
only
friends.
gotten one mystery tackle box, and I won a mystery tackle box from Ike Live one time, and it was the biggest piece of shit that I've ever gotten.
Really?
Like, I would be angry if I paid money and received that. Like, there was nothing good in there.
It's all off-brand stuff. They don't have like Strike King and shit like that in there normally.
You can get sometimes.
I got a Megabass Vision 110 in there one time.
Yeah, right. Like, sometimes
It's
you
luck
can
of the
get
draw.
I don't
feel
know
like a lot
how,
of the
but
time-
most of the time it's all just like
I
Lucky.
think
It's all like Lucky Strike or Weston.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Lucky Strike.
Lucky Strike or Weston.
Lucky Strike
or
makes sense.
Guggen.
Guggen stuff
I think
and like hard hat lures, just like stuff that you've never really heard of.
I think it's
before.
they probably have some deal with the manufacturer, so it's
Yeah.
whatever they get from them
right.
at like either like a super reduced price because for the company it's advertising, right? You know, they're just putting those baits out there and getting them in front of people. Somebody's gonna like them and they're gonna buy more.
But like
So-
Bob said, like it gives you stuff that you probably wouldn't buy, but that you could try, and you never know. Like you're so used to getting the same shit all the time. Like yeah, it works, but like who's to say you're not going to get something that you try that?
The only good thing that was in my box was a football jig.
There you go.
There was one off-brand football jig in there that everything else was practically worthless.
All right, so update.
Oh, you know what was in there?
They're $90. I don't know if it's gonna happen.
Negative.
They're $90.
Yes.
That's not worth it.
There was one thing
From
in there.
Amazon.
Have you ever anybody ever thrown the baby bull shed?
Yeah.
Any good?
Yeah.
So that was in there. I forgot that I did get that in there.
The
I've never
baby
thrown
baby
it, but-
bull shad is a good little bait for sure. Especially like right now with like all the little shad stuff.
Sucks when you get
running
like an 8-inch swim bait. That's like Trad's dream box.
around. Sucks when they send those now.
Dude, you should have a swim bait.
He's getting the mystery tackle
Look,
box tonight.
The swim bait mystery tackle
What would you-
box
would you
subscription
ship
is
Dude, you know how
$3,000
fucking
a
upset
month.
I would be. I opened that box and an 8-inch Guggen Klein bait is in there. I'd be like, shit.
You just tell me you wouldn't try. You would try.
It would probably be a giveaway on the show.
No, you would try. I know. Come on. Just to
No.
see.
I definitely think I'm going to try to get us hooked up with one of those freaking new Stro KGBs.
I will have them when they come out.
Yeah.
What about are the Storm glide baits any good?
Notice I said them, as in multiples, which means I'm going to drop like $400,
What
which
about
is
the-
fine because
You would
instead of
drop
getting
$400, but you won't get an OG one.
oh, yeah, because for $400 I can get 8 of them.
But how do you know that those are going to swim the same way OG does?
Well, seeing as the creator of the Chad Shad helped Spro design it, I'm pretty sure that he did a.
It's a
pretty good job there.
completely plastic and resin, totally different
Well,
made bait.
Well, I'm just saying it's going to be pretty.
They're
it's
going to be
a
great.
good bait.
They're
You know what I
going to be
mean?
good baits.
Remember
They're
when we
gonna be
found
good
that
baits.
tackle box floating on Conowinga that had
Did you
that
pre-order
giant
them?
glide bait in it?
I'd pre-order them
What?
because
Yeah.
they're going to be hard to get a hold of. I
And-
think.
The other reason I won't buy an OG is because it hurts a lot less losing a $50 lure than it does losing a $150 lure.
Right. I hear you.
Which you know.
I mean, I like being unique, but for real, I would pre-order that shit because I really think that just like the KGBs now,
I'm gonna wait.
as soon as one drops, everything's going within 30 seconds, and I think this will be the same way with the Spurs. Everybody's going to want to get them. Oh my gosh, the KGBs
Depends
are
on
$50.
It also depends on how fast Spro can turn them out. It's not like it's not like a handmade bait, that KGB's making. Spro has the ability to mass produce.
I can absolutely see it going really quickly, just because
I think the first run-
these nuts that are freaking willing to pay $400 for one are definitely willing to do exactly what you're going to do and pay $400 and get 8 of them.
Right.
So there's going to be a lot of people out there doing that.
I am gonna hold off on that because my next purchase will be Mega Live.
I'm definitely grabbing like 2
Are
or
you?
3.
Yeah.
What's
I
what's
need-
the mega one?
It's Hummingbird's Live Scope.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What's better?
I do want to
The
come
new
over to your house
update-
one day, and I want to come over here and like look at the Hummingbird box that you have for linking everything
Like, you see that
together.
box?
Yes, I need to get smart on that because I want to add live as well. And
Do you have an Ethernet box?
Are you doing
do
polls
not.
and live?
What's that?
You doing polls and live?
Are you doing
At the
live?
same
Don't do
time?
live. Don't do live. Do 360.
Well, I might do everything.
Okay, that's fine.
And
If it's a
hedge
Yeah,
unit.
man.
If it's a choice between 360 and live, get 360. 360 is infinitely more usable than live
Right.
for 99% of the fishing that we do. It's that 1%, like
You
we're
go
doing Sunday,
not
that
narrow and-
Right.
I really need live for.
All right, so like now that since you brought up Sunday, like yeah, we have the Bass Beer Radio $1 side bet. Can I just give you the $1 now? Because I can't catch.
I might go 0.
What's the side bet?
He's
$1
gonna do better
dollar
than
side
me.
bet.
I mean, like, what's the bet? I mean,
We're both fishing the Conway Go Open.
oh, nice.
He's definitely gonna win because I can't. When the water's low up there, I can't catch him. I don't know. Why.
That's a
How you know
negative
water's
attitude.
gonna
Right, it's a negative
Yeah.
attitude.
It's also the truth. There's two sides to a story, and there's one side to facts. And the fact is, I cannot catch fish up there, or the right fish when the water's low.
That's bullshit. You caught fish with me when we were on low water.
Yeah, but we were on
Doing
your
the
boat.
same shit.
I don't have confidence in it.
I think it's a mental thing. I mean, that first day we went out, we wrecked them the first day. I mean, we didn't catch any giants, but we probably had 11 or 12 pounds for our best 5.
Yeah, we caught 30 fish.
And we caught like 30 freaking keepers. And the water was low as fuck.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
And we didn't do anything special. Just ran around through 8 rigs of swim baits all day.
Yep. Damn, I mean,
Caught them the next day. You caught a 3.5 pounder the next day on low water.
Quit being so hard on yourself,
Yeah,
Tony.
don't be so hard on yourself. It's not. You just can't you just can't do the same shit that you can't do the same shit that you do on Iowa.
see, that's the thing is like, on Sunday, I'm probably going to be on the back of the boat. And that's not that's what makes it hard is like, I can't.
I don't know. You were whooping my ass from the back of my boat the second day we went out pre-fishing for my club tournament.
I don't know though, because like me and Kevin.
I mean, granted, you were casting to the bank and I was drop shotting 25 feet of water,
But like me and Kevin are fishing on Sunday, and we have been fishing the same rotation of the 10, 15 spots, and it's like hopefully there's fish there. If there's not, that's where it's going to be difficult. Because Kevin does not want to take his boat up in the rocks, which I totally get.
that's fine. I'm not taking my boat up in the rocks.
I went up in the rocks today and didn't do shit.
You won't see me up in the rocks.
Oh, the water temp's also in the 60s, like everywhere.
Oh, really?
It sucks.
It went up a lot. It was
Yes, it did.
last Saturday when I was out, it was 55.
No, it was. So this morning I saw 58 and a half at the ramp. And by the end of the day at the ramp, it was like 61, 62. Because this warm rain's coming up, which means it's a warming trend. And then Sunday, it's a cooling trend,
That's fine.
which might actually be better, but I don't know.
I don't know. We'll find out.
It's going to be like, it's like, that's the thing is I'm going to go up there tomorrow and just fuck around and see what happens. But like, I'm not investing anything into these 2 practice days because if there's one thing I know about Conolingo is you can catch 100 pounds and 5 fish the first day. You can go blank next day for no fucking reason.
100 pounds for 5 fish.
Yeah.
Yes.
20 pounders all day.
That's fucking insane.
Dude, you could go up there.
World record smallmouth.
Right.
I went up there on a Friday and had a fantastic day before one of the opens 2 or 3 tournaments ago.
You have to watch them.
Easily.
You have to watch
17
going up
pounds.
there during the week
Right.
because they run a lot more water during the week.
Right.
They
Yep.
tend to not run as much water on the weekends. So
E-
that current really, you can go up there. Like I went up there on a Thursday, pre-fishing for an SQT. That was on a Saturday, and me and my buddy just fucking cracked them. I mean, we had 17 to 18 pounds. We caught a 3+ pounder on every single spot we stopped. I mean, stop, make 3 casts, catch a 3 pounder, go to the next spot. Boom, 3 casts, 3 pounder, couple 3 pounders, go to the next spot. And we did that for like 6 hours. It was freaking incredible. And I'm like, yeah, this is going to be fucking great. Yeah, it took like 7 pounds to win the tournament on Saturday.
Dude, it gets insane. Here's the thing. Like here.
Fucking Lloyd won that one.
Yep, I remember that. That was like
He filled in for
3, 4
somebody.
years
I
ago.
think he filled in for Jedry or something.
My thing about Conolingo is Conolingo gets a lot of a bad rap, and I say that in like our club, we fish it once a year. Half our club hates fishing it because they don't fish it, and it takes like 9. I think Kevin won the club tournament this year with 9 pounds. No shit on Kevin because he won the tournament fair and square, and, whatever. But like 9 pounds in one of these opens, that's a get off the stage and let the next guy weigh in weight most of the time.
Damn. We had so our tournament up there. We had 2 guys that caught him good. I had 13 pounds. Kenning had 12 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And then it really dropped off after that. I think Mike was third with like eight something.
Wow. We probably had around with our best 5 today, like 10, something like that. Like I consider 10 just shitty up there because I know what's going to take to win. I've never caught what it's going to take to win, other than like maybe once or twice total. Like
So
I've had one day this year where I probably broke 16, 17
shell
pounds.
cracker.
What? Oh,
It's a deadly bait.
It is.
Deadly
My
bait.
buddy fishes them a lot.
Yeah.
So in my club tournament, if it had been a team tournament, we figured it up. We would have had over 16 pounds.
that'll get you paid in one of these opens for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean that generally will put you in the top 3.
Usually, yes, absolutely.
Generally.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like the thing of it is it's different, and like I like having the versatility to go down to the gunpowder or the flats and catch largemouth, doing something completely different than I'm going to do. Like I threw a bait casting rod for like a total of like 30 minutes today, up on Conway. Like everything else was fairy wanding with 6-pound tests and just doing this all day.
Maybe you should have been throwing a bait caster a little more.
I probably should.
Sounds like the fair one didn't work out so well.
Lesson learned.
I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I think today was definitely the toughest day on Conway I've had all fall. I mean, when we still caught,
The windy up there.
it was. It got windy towards the middle of the day.
Just throw a spinner bait.
It did not. It got windy, and I was tired of catching them, and it was raining its ass off. So we got out there.
Sucks ass.
We probably
Hate
got
that chair.
in the water at 7, and we were done by 12. Half day. I mean, we caught a limit in that time. We probably caught a limit by 10:30. So like, I'm not gonna say we didn't have a limit, but I wasn't satisfied with the limit.
I will say though, the best advice that I can give you up there is if you know someplace you can catch a limit, go there. Because it takes the stress off of you so
Yes.
much.
Yeah, then you're
If you
calling
if
after
you just
the
have
house.
if you get those 5 fish. Like our club tournament, we launched at 7:15. I had a limit by 8:30.
Yep.
So I called out every single one of those fish, but I had a limit at 8:30, and I was so much more relaxed the rest of the
Oh,
day.
that was the when me and Kevin got third in that open. That was the same thing. Like not quite that fast, but we went to the first spot, didn't catch a fish. I actually missed one, a decent one. We would have got rid of it anyway, but it was the first fish hooked. Like the pattern that me and Kevin are running when the water's the right level, it's you pull up to the spots and you catch them pretty quick. So we pull up on the first spot, and after like 30 minutes, nobody's got a bite. I'm like, fuck, it's gonna be one of those days. So I throw my fairy wand out there. I got one at the boat, maybe 2-pounder, 1.5, 2 pounds. It gets off. I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. It's gonna be like that. We pull up on the next spot, and in 5 casts, I got a limit. Now they're 12 inches a piece, but it's a limit. And it was funny because like I'm catching these fish, and I'm like, God damn it, another 12-incher. And after like the third 12-incher, I'm like, man, these fish just like piss me off. These fish are gay. You know what I'm saying? Nothing against anyone that does that. Just whatever. So Kevin puts on Gay Fish from South Park, like the song from Kanye West. And at that point, we're like laughing our asses off. And like this song is on,
Do you like fish sticks?
dude. It's busting. He's got like this fucking.
Do you like fish sticks?
He's got like this speaker that's like, I don't know. It's loud as shit. Like you can feel it in your feet when the bass is going off. And I'm catching fish on the Ned rig, and like we're just laughing. It was so much fun. Like it was one of the most fun moments I've ever had fishing, and I'm catching fish like this, and we're just like, I don't know, should I even measure this piece of shit? Like,
So let me ask you a question. Like once you continue to catch fish that size, did you move, or did you stay there?
when they stopped biting, we moved.
So
Now this whole flurry was over in 20 minutes, so it was very fast.
But think about that. Like you caught a limit. They're 12-inch fish. You're catching 12-inch fish. Why didn't you leave there in 10 minutes?
We should.
Because that's 10 minutes you could spend on another spot.
Yep.
That these fish are 12 inch. One of the things that I've learned throughout the year, smallmouth generally group by size.
Right.
So if you're catching 12-inch fish, you're going to continue to catch 12-inch fish. There might be the random, bigger fish in there, but in general, those 12-inch fish, they're going to be 12 to 13-inch fish, and you're going to keep, you're going to keep catching. I'm hoping you're. Now there are spots where they'll group together, but if you're in I know the stuff that you run, it's areas like that. If they're schooling up, and if they're schooling, they're going to be similar size.
Yep.
So, that's 10 minutes that you could have spent on another spot that might have a school of 2.5 pounders on it. So you got to watch. You really, and don't get me wrong, I'm really bad at that. Also, that's one of my biggest faults is spending too much time on a single spot.
Especially if you just keep catching them. It's hard.
Right.
Well,
because you can bite, right?
Right.
It could be a 4-pounder, could be a 4. No, it's 4 inches.
Well, that's the thing that kills me is I have 2 or 3 offshore spots and today, Rob, if you're still on, we pulled up to one of my offshore spots, and it's like you pull up on it and you will always catch at least one, no problem. But I just don't catch big ones there, and it's like everything that is in this spot looks great. It's off the shore. The depth is right. The bottom contour is right. And they're not there. Like the big ones aren't there. Like you'll catch, I think the first time I ever fished it, I caught 4 or 5 on it, but they were all
Are they not there, or have you not figured out how to catch the bigger ones off of it? Because
Probably
I have found
both.
on some of that offshore stuff that, if it's a specific piece of structure, there tends to be various size fish throughout there. If it's like the stuff that you're fishing, which doesn't have any structure related to it, and they're schooled up, they'll tend to be the same size.
Right.
So if you find like an offshore, say like a rock pile or something like that, you can usually catch bigger fish mixed in with the smaller fish. It's a matter of figuring out what bait the bigger fish will eat versus the smaller fish.
And I'm definitely
like if you're catching if you're throwing a regular Ned rig out there that's this big and you're catching 12-inch or 12-incher, throw something else. Cool. It's really hard to put that down sometimes because that's what you're getting bid on. But sometimes that's the decision that you have to make. It's like, well, I got to do something to catch a bigger fish.
Right.
So maybe throw a jig or a crankbait or something, something like that. That something different that to try to trigger that bigger strike.
Throw the jerk bait out there.
Jerk bait, yeah.
Throw a big ass glide bait out there.
Water's not cold enough for a jerk bait yet.
It's not, and I don't even know if I'm going to pull it out of the
you can
box.
still catch them. You can still catch them on jerk bait, but it's not cold enough to what I like to fish jerk bait.
Yep. And it's gotten worse because I threw it a little bit here and there, and it's like I don't even have confidence in it because I look down at my graph and I see that 62, 63 degrees, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's not.
No, it's funny though. One of the best days I ever had on a jerk bait up there, the water was like fucking 80 degrees, but they were just smashing bait fish, and I don't think it really mattered what you would have crankbait, jerk bait. And you pulled anything through the school of fish, nobody ate it.
Back to that bull shed, that little baby bull shed.
Yeah.
It's a really good bait for what's going on right now with all those threadfin that are schooling.
Yeah.
You just burn one of those across the surface or something like
Makes
that.
sense.
For what school?
Maybe I'll do that tomorrow.
Threadfin shed.
Might have to dig that out of the box, throw it in the boat.
Yeah. He does it. He freaking throws them out. He burns them across the surface really quickly.
Yeah, I saw him doing that. I mean, just and then just pause it for a second, right back to it.
Yeah.
The tide's going to be low as shit tomorrow, which is one of the reasons why I was thinking about crappie fishing, but I was like, you know what? I need to just go up there and just deal with it. It's a northwest wind, 10 to 15. It's going to blow the water out.
It won't be bad.
You don't think so?
No. Especially west wind, isn't it?
I thought it was northwest.
Let me see.
I was gonna go to Joppa tomorrow, but I was like, yeah, definitely not with that wind.
That is not wind. Must see wind. All right. Oh, gust of 33 today. All right.
Today?
Yeah, let's check out tomorrow.
Yeah, no.
Tomorrow too.
Damn it.
How's Joppa Town been fishing?
3 to
That's
15
right.
miles an
Yeah.
hour with gusts to 33
That's a hell of a gust.
from the west.
Okay, well that's not too bad. Then.
From the west.
From the west.
That's not bad because on the wing. So that's the thing. It could be 100-mile-an-hour winds on kind of wingo if it's blowing east or west. It's whatever.
Well,
it's blowing north or south.
if it's blowing east, you're still gonna make it across the lake before it gets before it gets good. I will say Saturday when I was up there, it got pretty gnarly Saturday afternoon. Coming back from I was up in the rocks, and once I got below Peach Bottom, it was fucking gnarly. It was bad out there from like Peach Bottom to just past Broad Creek. Once I got down to like just past Broad Creek, it was fine. Like I could run wide open, but in between there, it was like.
I'd say right around Broad Peak is always usually bad. When
Yeah,
there's
it's
any kind of wind.
Dude, that's like when
Like
you run
trimmed
up. That's
like
like
trimmed down all the way doing like 25 miles an hour, like steering over, like in between waves.
That's like when you run to the flats from like the gunpowder or some shit. It's like the mouth of the bush is notoriously horrible.
Oh,
The
yeah.
mouth of the sass is notoriously horrible. Like,
Yeah, it gets pretty gnarly down there.
Yeah, man. I remember the first Conowingo Open when we fished this year in the regular series. Dude, that was
I remember that video.
fucking crazy. Like,
With in the front of the boat going like this.
oh my god!
That's how it was on Saturday.
We were fishing south, and I was fishing the bank, and like I couldn't. Thinking back at it, like I can't believe we were catching fish on the bank because there's 3-foot rollers crashing where I'm casting and catching fish, and we caught like 15 fish that day, so it wasn't like one or another. But it was like I was trying to go against the wind, or not actually, it's not really even against the wind, with the wind. But here's the thing: is when the waves get so high down there, they like rebound off the dam. Which
So you get it going both ways.
exactly, which is like super like
What
go
direction?
fuck yourself.
What direction was the wind blowing? Was it blowing from the south?
It was a north wind.
North wind. Usually south winds. So north wind's probably why they were biting. So if you when you get a south wind, it just turns the bite off because it kills all the current.
Yeah, that was what it was. South wind today for
Yeah.
sure.
That might have been, that's going to be one of the reasons why you struggled today. If we had a south wind last Saturday, we didn't do that well.
Right.
It kills the current because the current runs north to south. So you get a south wind, it just blows up the river, and you don't have any. It kills what little current there is when they're not running water.
Right. But yeah, like I was trying to go against the wind, and like I couldn't, not because of the wind, because the trolling motor was consistently out of the water.
So I got that 52-inch shaft, baby.
Like it was crazy. Like it sounded like a weed whacker. I'm like, what the fuck are we supposed to do, dude? Like my Chad's like, dude, stay on this tree. Like I got bit. I'm like, I can't. Like I can do nothing to stay here. Like there's nothing I can do short of starting up the big motor. Like my feet were soaked. Like there's an inch of water in the Crocs from the waves crashing over. That was crazy.
That's how it was Saturday when we decided we left at 1:00. We left just before 1, and from like 11:50 to 12:50 that hour, we were, I'm fishing all shore right out, no wind block whatsoever, and water coming over the front of the boat. Granted, remember, I have a 52 shaft in my trolling motor specifically for situations like this. My trolling motor is coming out of the water. It's just like, whoa. My buddy's like, "Are we back on the St. Lawrence?" It was gnarly.
See, that's where like I really wish I had spot lock and stuff, because after fishing on your boat and Kevin's boat with spot lock, like
Spot locked it.
I try, like I look at, like when I try to stay on the spot, and it is so difficult to stay even near like on the size of this table.
Trying
on
to fish in the
spot.
wind on a
Like-
tiny john boat without spot lock is almost impossible.
You can't.
You just
So-
go like a kite.
So like fishing offshore is impossible without spot lock, in my opinion, because you can't see. Like if you're fishing the bank, I know they're on this tree. Like I have a reference point.
Right.
I'm out in the middle of the fucking lake. I don't have any reference point. So when I can think I'm staying on my spot, I could have fucking drifted fucking 30, 40 feet off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And within a couple of seconds, and you don't even realize it. Next thing you look down at your unit, and your fucking waypoint's like over here.
Right.
You're like, fuck.
Does anyone still use marker buoys?
I have some in my boat. I don't use them very often.
I have
Mostly
a bunch
because-
of them. Like I just don't use them either.
Mostly because I don't want other people to see what I'm fishing. I don't have a necessity for it because I have 360.
Right.
Like I can look at 360 and know exactly where my target is.
So, like traditionally, do people use marker buoys to mark where they wanted the boat to be, or like to mark where the school of fish was, or
Some people would use it for both. So they would put one where they needed the boat, one on their spot, and keep their boat at this one and cast to that one. So that they, if they have a specific angle that they needed to cast, you drop 2 marker buoys, and now you can cast at that very specific angle and keep your boat in that position. Even with spot locks, and the spot lock is tough sometimes, especially when the wind's blowing, because if I'm trying to stay, like if I know I need to make a certain cast angle, and the wind's not blowing in the proper direction, it really makes it tough to position the boat so
Right.
that you can cast at the right angle.
right?
Like you got to flip the boat around and go into the wind. But then if it's blowing, like say my rock pile's here and the wind's blowing into it this way, I got to spot lock out here and fish off the back of the boat because I can't fish from the shallow side of it. I need to fish from the deeper side of it. So I've had to do that a few times, where you just spot lock and fish off the back of the boat.
Now, for a marker buoy, like does the wind blow the marker buoy off?
It can,
Of
yeah.
course. Like I was thinking about that because I've used them, not in a long time, but I've used them before. Cliff Sanders from the VMI Bass Club taught me a lot about. He said guys back in his time used marker buoys.
What's up, Martin?
All the time.
As far as markers go, like what, like would you use them when it's
Major
like
pain.
when you're like heavy current? Like what do you have to put on there in order for that to like?
So they have
actually stay there?
It's got a lead weight on
They have
it.
a lead weight on them.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like,
it's a
up the
flexible. It's a lead strip about this big, and it's about this thick, so it's flexible. So you just wrap it around your marker buoy when you're done, and then you unwrap it and chuck it over the side, and it just
Gotcha.
pulls the string down. It unwraps, and when it hits the bottom, it stops. But a lot of times in the current, it'll keep, like if you're like you said in current, it'll keep unwrapping, and the marker buoy will just drift the current.
Right.
Even if your lead's staying there,
And your string is like, yeah.
See you
it
later.
just
It
keeps.
looks like something from Star Wars. Like the marker buoy is just like looks like a H, like it's shaped like an H, and it flips over. So it's designed
You
so
can
that
use-
it.
Yeah, you can do marker buoys for different, like if you wanted to get like really serious about it, you could do marker buoys for different depths.
Mhm.
So that there's, say you're fishing 15 feet of water, so there's only 20 to 25 feet of string on it.
Right.
So it can only go out so far.
Right.
Now, if the current's strong enough, it's going to pull your lead
Right.
because it's not a lot of weight. I mean,
Or it could pull the marker
Yeah, it's-
buoy off the string.
2 or 3 ounces, maybe 2 or 3 ounces of lead
Right.
at the most. It's not going to pull the marker buoy off the string. I mean, it's tied. So,
True.
that's not.
So another, I guess, I don't know. I mean, just because I don't know, it might be a stupid question, but I'm not 100%
Never a
sure.
stupid question.
You were talking, talking about kind of wind and stuff, but you were saying like, if the wind is blowing hard enough, obviously currents, moving whatever, and obviously underneath the surface, right? Currents going. So how does the wind actually like affect?
It'll stall the current up there.
Like even like underneath and everything. Okay, that's
it'll just
kind of,
kinda
I've
sit
always
still.
been curious about that. Obviously, like you see the top of the water change or whatever, you see that it's blowing against the current, but like, does that actually like affect
So-
underneath to a certain point?
So what happens is, it's going to, if in an ideal world, like if the lake was the same depth, it would really only move, say the top 3 or 4 feet or whatever. It would cause some current there. But what happens, in a lake, is the river bottom comes up and down.
Okay.
So when the river's coming down and it hits that high point, the water's trying to come up over it, but the wind's blowing it this way, so
Gotcha.
it just stalls all the current behind it
Gotcha. Okay.
because you have all the current coming into one small area.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
Hey Martin, are you and Clint fishing
I'm pretty
Conway
sure the
on
current was
Sunday?
going backwards on Saturday. It was.
I've seen.
I mean,
that.
until I got like up in the rocks. I mean,
Where it's being
there was a
blocked a little bit.
little bit of current up there, but
Right.
yeah, it was pretty shitty.
Martin, are you and Clint going to fish on Sunday? Just let us know. Oh no. Okay.
Come on, man.
Guess I get to fish all the Clint spots. Just kidding.
I'm pretty sure I heard him say as long as he's not there.
Even I'm coming out, Martin. And I never come out for Conwingo tournament.
I'm just going out because I want to see the winners weigh in the 20-pound bag of smallmouth. I think someone's going to drop 20. I know it's going to be. It's going to. I have a guesstimate. I have a educated guess of the two potential people who it could be.
J or H?
Yes, J or H. That is correct.
Or P?
P. Oh, for you?
Hey, I was
hope
gonna
so.
say.
Hey, I hope so. I'd be happy as shit if you dropped a 20-pound bag because eventually, hopefully, I'll know how you did it. But no, I'm kidding. I mean, I hope you do. That'd be awesome. I hope I do. Christ.
I've done it up there. I've never done it with smallmouth up there. I've done it 3 times with largemouth. Never in a tournament.
I've gotten closer with largemouth than I have with smallmouth, for sure, easily.
We had me and my buddy had like 23 pounds up there one day at largemouth.
All largemouth in the spring.
In May.
Yeah.
Just
May is fantastic up there. May is like the best time to fish up there.
We had 3 5s and 2 4s.
Yeah, 5 pound. Like me and Chad caught a 4.38 in the first open tournament up there this year, and like just seeing a largemouth up there 4.38 come out of the comment, I was like, dude, that's badass. And then me and Skylar, we caught one. What was that? 4 1/4 or whatever that I caught on the shaky head up there with you.
And that's where I caught that. I caught like a 3.
You caught like a
smallmouth. Like
Skylar caught a 3 1/4 pound smallmouth.
It was back to back.
As he's got it in the net, I cast into the same tree and catch like a 4 1/4 largemouth.
We I mean, I feel like I don't really know. Obviously, I know what we can do, especially when it's like hot out. I feel like we can actually like do really well when it's really hot out. I just feel like, man, when it gets like right, when it gets like up until a certain point, it's just kind of like, you know.
I do good up there.
See, I'm the opposite.
See, I do good up there until like July, and then I'm
Yeah, that's me. Like I'm fine until like the end of June, and then I am no good up there until
the fall.
Until September. When they September, they'll start schooling offshore. Offshore deep when the big schools of shad really start balling up. I can usually catch some offshore doing that, but you know, there is big largemouth up there. My buddy got one almost 7 up there.
That's
Just outside of Hopkins. I think it was like 6.87 or something like that. Which is that's a fucking giant.
I need a boat. That's what I need.
A boat.
Yeah.
A boat.
Yeah.
I want to get better, man. I want to actually like go out and like find stuff for myself. I think that's like the most exciting part.
Have you bought a house yet?
Oh yeah.
So you bought a house. So now you can tell Wade, like, well, hey,
Oh, I've already told her.
bought a house. Now we're buying a boat.
So we're going on our honeymoon in May, and I told her like right when that ends, like I've already started saving up, but I have a feeling what I'm saving up is going to be used more for the honeymoon. I was like after the honeymoon, I was like, this is it. Like
Where
I
you
told
going?
her,
Where are you going for your honeymoon?
Greece.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I told her I was like, listen, I was like after that, I was like, you have to understand, like her dad always says like her dad likes to fish, but not like our kind of fishing, and he doesn't he rarely goes. He's like, I never use my boat. I was like, you don't fish like I fish. I was like, I'm gonna go out when I have a boat. I would like to think I'm gonna go out more than not having a boat. Like I don't get. To
I'm
go out
sad
now.
I'm sad of the time change because now I can't fish after work.
Mhm.
Like
Now,
now,
now
now I
I
can only
fish the
fish.
most.
It's like
Like,
now I can only fish 2 days a
Right.
week instead of 5.
Right. That's one of the ways to fish. the most.
Honeymoon during the spawn.
Yeah,
That's a good one,
I will
right?
say May is a terrible
I know.
time to take a honeymoon.
Did you already had your honeymoon, right?
No.
No, they had a destination wedding.
Oh, that's right.
Where'd you guys go?
So do you have a honeymoon?
Yeah,
Key West.
Key West.
So do you have a honeymoon, or is it?
Yeah.
Where's that at?
Greece.
There's no bass over there.
False. There are bass in Italy, which is very close to Greece.
Oh, well, Ike was just over there, right?
Yeah.
Like
Bass fishing is actually pretty big over there.
Really?
we should go to
In
Lake.
Italy.
We should,
They
we should
catch
all just,
Giant yellow perch over there.
dude. We
They're
should
not-
all go.
So
to,
those are European perch.
Yeah.
It's actually a different species than yellow. They look a lot like yellow perch, but
They're massive.
That's sick.
yeah, they're.
So I should take a run.
we should take a trip. We should all take a trip to Lake Biwa in Japan.
No.
I would. I would.
That's like
That'd
the
be
big
crazy.
swim bait capital of the world.
This is where you get all your bait. This is where you get all your lures from. Why would you not go over
Dude,
there?
Japan is just a hike.
It's a hike. It's one. I definitely want to
And
go to
I
Japan.
haven't figured out how I'm going to get my boat there yet.
That's easy.
You would take a guy. You would do a
Dude,
guy.
them motherfuckers over there, like every bass boat on that lake's got like a 350 on it. Like it's insane.
Wait, the problem with Lake Biwa is it gets so much pressure. That's why you see so many like finesse tactics come out of Japan. is because there's like 4 good lakes in Japan, and they have like 500 boats on them every weekend.
Yeah.
So that's where you get all these like little like stupid finesse baits that come from that we look at like, what are you gonna catch on that fucking thing? Well, they're catching 10-pounders on it.
Yeah.
Because
right.
the 10-pounders won't eat anything else because they've seen 1,000 baits a day for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
But I mean, Japan would be cool. There's some really cool like tackle places over there.
Oh yeah. There'd be some insane shit over there. Just like,
Yeah, there's some of the tackles.
Well, dude, I mean, there's some serious hammers that have come out of Japan. I mean, like obviously Takahiro more, and then what's the other guy's
Taku
name?
Ito. Taku Ito is really good.
Gary Yamamoto.
Gary Yamamoto. Marizo Shimizu,
Mhm.
another Elite Series angler. There's 4 or 5 Elite Series anglers that are from Japan. Taku Ito had never caught a smallmouth before the tournament that he won on the St. Lawrence River.
I bet he was like, "What the hell is on my line right now?"
He knew about them, but he'd never fished for smallmouth.
Right. So
Until he
that's what I'm
practiced.
saying, like,
Until he practiced.
Until he caught one, he was probably like,
Ridiculous.
"This is like the biggest largemouth," and then he catches it. He's probably like a 2-pound smallmouth. They fight. I mean,
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah, he said he had never caught a smallmouth until he practiced for that tournament
He probably loved it.
and fucking won the tournament.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and his first fucking smallmouth,
Taku
his
Ito
first smallmouth ever was probably like 5
It
pounds.
was the best bet. If you want to see something entertaining, go back and watch the final day on St. Lawrence last year when Taku Ito won. The last day of them following him, he is hilarious. He's out there like he's just like there's 105 pounders under boat. It's smallmouth Disneyland. He's like smallmouth love taco.
Martin was
It was hilarious the whole time. Like he's out there just having a blast.
Martin was telling a story. I'm saying when he did the
Me too, Martin.
when he won this giveaway where he got to fish with like Aaron Martins, and one of the Japanese anglers was there, and like the story about how like he was trying to speak like broken English to Martin, and Martin's like, "Yes, I speak English." I'm like, "Oh my god, what the fuck!" Like, I wish Martin comment that if you still on. That was funny as shit when you told us the story. I can't remember, but basically, you got to fish with like Aaron Martins. It might have been Takahiro Mori, who hands down has the best Bassmaster Classic win of all time.
5-pounder! I
Dude,
knew it!
like,
I knew it!
3 5-pounders and like 3 casts to win the Bassmaster Classic.
We got the goal!
On the final day, it comes in with like 30 seconds to spare.
He caught 2 3s and a 5 in his last 3 casts
Yes.
of the day.
And he only
Off
had,
1 tree.
did he have 5 in the box at the time, or did he only have like 3 or 4 or something? I don't remember.
I think he called. I know it.
Did he?
I know he
Yeah.
called it at least once, but like it was the final day. He pulled up on 1 tree. He had time to make like 5 casts to this tree, and caught 2 3s and a 5 to win the Bassmaster Classic.
That's got to be the best feeling.
Like grabs his
should watch it.
5-pounder,
Like,
like
you
makes
should-
his call and looks at the cameraman and goes, "We got the goal!" And he made it. I think he made it in with 20 seconds. To spare.
So was he fishing out of his boat because
Mhm.
he had Triton like gear on, but he was fishing out of a Ranger. I noticed that when I was watching it. I was like, or maybe vice versa, but there was something weird going on there, and I was like, that's crazy.
So it might have been one of the years. So that was pretty early.
It was like
in the
2007, right?
So they may have. It may have been when they were still doing like all Rangers, like
Okay.
everyone fished out of the same boat. They did that for quite a while. You know, it was like it was a sponsorship thing where
Right.
the whole everybody in the classic fished out of like a Ranger 520 or whatever.
Well, everybody used to fish out of a Ranger back in like the 90s.
Yeah, they did that for a long time. So it could have been something like that. However, I am pretty confident that Takahiro Mori has always fished a Ranger.
Yeah. Gary Yamamoto
Maybe not
used to
recently.
fish out
Maybe
of a
not
Ranger.
recently because last year Ranger dropped like
everybody.
everyone. So I don't know if he's still fishing out of a Ranger or not. But
I thought they were gonna do like what Legend did and just stop making boats for a while.
no, they would never. They're never going to stop making Rangers. Ranger is the most popular brand of boat out on the market right now.
Is it? I would have thought Nitro had taken over that role as the number 1 most popular.
He is a Yamaha pro. That is true. That is very true.
So that's the other
I definitely see a lot more nitros than
thing. Can you
Rangers out
still
there.
get a Ranger with anything other than a Mercury now? I don't think you can.
No. It's all Mercury.
No. Yeah, they're all Mercury.
See, that to me, that sucks because you take away, like Martin's saying, you take away everybody that's not a Mercury guy.
Well, then you just buy it's fine. You buy it without a motor.
They're all the same.
Like they can just buy it. They can buy the boat without a motor, and they can put their own motor on it.
That's
at that
true.
point.
Yeah,
I know a lot of pros have done that are Yamaha pros like that, where they would just they'll just buy the boat and put a Yamaha motor on it. But that's like you'll never see a Skeeter with a Mercury on it.
Right.
Because
this is my uncle's.
Because Yamaha owns Skeeter.
Right.
So that's why all Skeeters have it. Well, no, there's an FX20 in Joppa Town that has a Mercury on it. He blew it up last year.
An FX?
Yeah.
Does it have a 4-stroke on it?
It's a relatively new boat. It's only 5 years old.
Right.
It's an FX20. He blew the motor up last year and couldn't get a Yamaha, so he bought the first motor he could get, which was a 250 Merc.
4-stroke?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I'm surprised I haven't seen it yet.
It's red and black.
It's still running, so.
Gotta do what you gotta do, right? I mean, it was either that. I think he said it was like I think he said it was like an 18-month wait for Yamaha motors.
Good God.
Jesus. So here's my question, and this isn't to shit on anybody that's got a Phoenix or anything, but like I see Phoenix is selling like a 2-year-old Phoenix is selling for like low 60s, mid 50s.
Then you haven't looked recently, because 2017s are going for 55 to 60.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it's like I see, and I'm comparing it to like Ranger, this fellow I know name's Raymond Jones. He's a Ranger guy, and he sells this boat at the end of every year. He's selling his 520R right now for like 83 grand. And I see a
520R. The 2 is like a $98,000 boat.
Right, but like this. Well, what's the Phoenix 920? 920.
Well, if you're looking at like the 920 Elite, then you're probably looking at about 85, like fully loaded. So I mean, you're starting with a $10,000 price difference. Rangers are ridiculously expensive. Not as expensive as Gamblers. Holy shit.
Yes and no, though, because the 521R 55 anniversary edition is 109 XXX and the Gambler's 111. Now, I don't know if that's the Gambler Elite or the Gambler 22 or whatever.
Hold on. I guess you missed that picture.
No, I saw it. The Gambler was $111,000 for the 21 footer.
$111 and $111,490.59.
Now, if you were to go on Ranger right now, granted, this is the top of the line Ranger. I don't know if
top
that's
of the line
Elite.
Ranger off the lot was going for 125 grand at that.
521L.
521R 55th anniversary
The R or the
edition. The R.
Well,
This
it's
year.
the 55th anniversary edition. That was the Icon that came out. Well, I guess the Icon came out 3 years ago.
Can you pull it up? Because now I'm curious. I don't want to speak incorrectly.
Well, you're not going to see the. You're not going to see the price.
On Ranger, you will. If you look up Ranger boats.
Well, you'll see the base price, but that's not like their actual price.
There's an icon on the right. Love it.
Yeah, fuck yeah. But the Icon
521L. Yeah.
But that one was like in 98,000. I remember looking at that. That was like the 2019 or 2020 model. But if you look at Ranger Boats website and their 521R is like 109,000. The 520R is like 104,000. I'm like, it's insane. But here's the thing, like that's your 2 power poles. That's your 2 12-inch graphs at the helm, 2 12-inch graphs up front. Spot lock, everything. I mean, that's everything. That is
hydraulic jack plate.
That is a Bassmaster Opens tournament ready boat from the moment you take it off the line.
360.
109,985.
Yeah.
109.
109. So 109 versus 111 yes, the Gambler's more expensive, but like I want to know.
Yeah, but the Gambler's more expensive, but it's also like 20 miles an hour faster.
Yeah.
So here's my thing, like,
which is kind of cool.
I would love to see Gambler come out with like an 18 to 19 foot model.
They used to have them.
That they have the Outlaw. I think the Intimidator was a 19, right, or was that a 20? But they have multiple.
they had
Dude, an
multiple
18-foot
intimidators.
gambler would be sick.
Dude,
My buddy just sold his 19. It's an older gambler, but he just sold his 19-foot gambler.
those things they're wicked.
And that bitch would fly.
Like if
He
they
flew by me on Lake Anna I think it was either last January or January before. Like I'm running like wide open, and it's just like zoom. And it only had a 200 on it.
like if they could
like
sell a 19 to 20 foot gambler in that even $75,000 price range, they'd sell crazy because like you're absolutely correct.
I don't think they would because that many. One, the people who want gamblers are not people who want 18 to 19 foot boats.
See,
I want a gambler, but I don't want a 21-foot boat.
I would get
The majority is what I'm saying.
I would get a 19 foot. I would get a 20 foot gambler. I wouldn't.
They make a
19.
20 foot gambler.
Not now.
Yes, they do.
I thought it was. I thought they only made 21s and 22s.
No, it's 20 and 21.
I'm pretty
2100. They have a 2100, and they have the.
I thought it was
Is it
20.
22 with the
I thought it was
300 on the back?
21 and 22. I could be wrong, but I was.
21. Yeah, you're right.
Can you put a
21
300 on
do.
the back of a gambler?
You can.
You can put any size motor you want on the back of it. There is no horsepower restriction.
You could put a 450 on
Anything
one.
over
Yes.
20. Anything over 20 feet, there's no horsepower restriction.
The thing I like about Gambler, other than the fact that it just looks like the fastest boat ever, is the fact that like it's fast as shit, but it doesn't. You don't compromise the fishing ability on a Gambler. Whereas like with your Allisons. And some would even argue Bullet, you kind of lack a little bit in storage, and the fishability is not really there. With Gambler, I've never heard anyone complain that like, oh, this boat is fast, but it sucks at fishing. Like,
They're nice and they're fast.
Yeah.
they're
I hear
just
they're
like
like
It's
shit,
a little
though.
pricey though.
Just
Yes.
a little price.
Well, some people say they handle rough water really well. Some people say that they they'll beat the shit out of you. But I've never gotten a ride in one to in rough water to be able to make that opinion.
Have you ever ridden in one? Period.
Yeah,
How was it?
fast.
See, I want to ride in one. I've never ridden in one. Like,
Whoever that guy is that has the white gambler around here,
Gary Bailey.
dude, that guy has
White
these.
green, right?
He's got the sexiest gambler
It's white and
I've
green,
ever
white power
seen.
pole.
Yes,
yep, I've seen that one.
dude,
before.
that gambler is.
He's like 75.
I know.
Well, my thing is though, like unless you're fishing like serious tournaments where you have to get to the spot first, like unless you have the money to just say screw it, whatever. But like, do you need to go that fast?
No.
Yes,
I think so.
100%.
Like I said, like unless you're fishing serious.
I don't
tournaments.
street race anymore. I have to get my speed from somewhere.
I don't know. I feel like there's a
I can go as
certain point where
fast
it's
as
like,
I want on the water without getting in trouble.
That's true. You can't.
So I always want the fastest boat I could possibly have.
I got you.
Like
That's not true. Like I actually want something that is good in rough water.
Right,
Stuff
right,
like that.
right.
I will say the funniest fast boat story that I have is we were fishing a TBF tournament out of Mad Woman one time, and we were like boat one, and Chris Huffman was like the last boat in the fucking tournament, and we're between the pier and Chickamunkson, right? Yeah, the big pier sticks out in Chickamunkson.
yes.
We're like halfway between there, and I dropped something in the floor, and like I looked back and I saw them back behind us.
Mhm.
And by the time I found I think I dropped my coffee or something like that. By the time I got like whatever it was picked up and put it up, they were out of sight. Like fucking gone. Like you could just barely see their fucking rooster.
We had a Bullet, right, with
Yeah.
a 300 or something crazy.
Apparently, my buddy Ron was his partner. He said they were that morning they ran 98 miles an hour the whole way to Aquia. It was like slick, calm, no wake. He
How
said
fast?
98.
Oh my god.
And it took them like 10 minutes to get there, probably.
Probably. It only takes me like 17 minutes to get there in my boat.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
insane.
I always thought Aquia was so much farther away.
I've never run there. I've
I
always
know.
thought about it, but I've never actually done it
I was going down there from
anywhere. I've never been.
I was planning on going down there in an SQT once. Like I went down, like I drove down there in practice, and like I found fish on beds down there, and I'm like, cool. Like I need to time this out in case I want to run down there. So like I left, and it took me 17 minutes to get back to the 6 mile an hour zone. I'm like, always thought this was like a 25-minute like.
Now, like, it's the best
That's fun.
fishing in Aquia in the back, like in those like canal areas, or it's just anywhere in Aquia.
There's certain areas that are good.
Like, do you have like should you go to the back or I mean the back is relative. Like that creek is huge.
It's a big creek. There's a lot of stuff to fish.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always wanted to go over there, but I've never actually just gone. Like I wish I should have because I traditionally suck on the Potomac, and it's always like
I can tell you, I've
two
never-
schools of thought. Like either go learn a new place or just stay in Mattawoman and do about as good as you do anywhere else, which is usually like nothing. So it's just me though. I suck on the Potomac because I don't fish it. I don't go down there.
I always wanted ABA down there later.
Well, you can take me out practicing.
Well, you might want to
Bill.
practice with somebody else because I'll take you down there, but I suck at the Potomac. You know what
You can go with me.
the
be
worst
there.
thing about the
Sure.
Potomac, honestly, the worst thing about the Potomac is the drive back.
Yes, because there's always fucking traffic.
It takes
It
less
doesn't
time.
matter if it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday. Does not matter what day of the week it is. Always traffic.
It
on
takes
the way back.
less time to drive home from the Nanacook than it does to drive home from the Potomac.
It's fucking.
And it's
terrible.
it blows
DC
my mind.
traffic.
the fucking DC traffic. It takes me. It usually takes me close to 3 hours to get home.
Is the chop tank worth fishing, or is that over with?
It's worth fishing.
Like right
It's worth
now?
fishing all winter.
Okay, all winter. Interesting.
Get some freaking giants down there in the wintertime. You just got to know where to locate them.
I don't know where to locate them anytime, especially not in the winter. That place,
There's only one. So you were saying with the Potomac, I can just stay in Mattawoman and do as well. The only way that you're going to learn that body of water
Is
is
to
to go fish other places.
Yep.
So just like the chop tank, the only way you can learn the chop tank is go fish the chop tank.
Yep.
You can go beat up on smallmouth on Conowingo, but you're beating up on smallmouth on Conowingo is not going to help you learn the chop tank.
Once I catch a 20-pound bag on Conowingo, I can rest and start fishing other places this time of year. But that's like the goal.
Why don't you settle for like winning an open tournament up there?
No.
Because it may take you a couple decades to hit that 20-pound bag.
That's what it takes, and that's what it takes. That's just the way it is.
All right, everybody. We are going to end the podcast for the night. We've been on for about an hour and a half now. We got a little bit of fishing to do tomorrow. I got a wedding to get to. And, so we're going to wrap this up. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.